What's up guys, KKaceh here. So a new type of banner was announced in Genshin Special Program for version 4.5 called Chronicle Wish. In this video, I'm going to look into the details that are currently available and break down the important points along with the pros and cons of this banner. But before we get started, do leave a like and subscribe to my channel as I make multiple discussion content throughout the week with at least one Hoyoverse Games topic per week and also one Monster Hunter topic per week. So subscribe so you don't miss on the intriguing topic of video games. Also, I'm not here to make fun of or white knighting on the developer's design choice, but rather I'm here to look into their design decisions, try to analyze the impact on players, and then provide the pros and cons to the players, so hopefully they will be able to make their own decision and then make a decision that they will not regret later on. Anyway, enough yapping, let's look into the details of this Chronicle Wish. So I have pulled up the website that contains the information about this Chronicle Wish. I'm not going to read all of them since I've read them, so I'm just going to summarize almost all of the points that has been written here. So let's start with, what is the Chronicle Wish? What can I get from it? So basically, on top having two 5-star character banners as usual, we are getting a third banner that has a pool of 6 characters and 11 weapons, at least for now. We don't know if the amount of characters and weapons will be increased or not. So I've seen people talk about it online, and it is safe to assume that this banner is made due to the large pool of limited time characters and weapons are already out at this point for Genshin Impact. So for the characters that might take forever to have a rerun, like Albedo for example, who hasn't had a rerun for a long time apparently. So this banner is a good way trying to get them early. But bear in mind, there are different rules applied to this banner compared to the normal limited banners. So next there's a question about what are the rules of Chronicle Wish? Is there a wish guarantee? And the section following that stating all of the rules that will be available for this banner. So I'm going to combine these 2 points since they are tightly connected. First, it requires intertwined fate. So that means you have to make another decision whether you should spend your wishes on limited time banners or the Chronicle Wish. Also, the way it works is similar to the weapon banner where you select which character/weapon you want to get. Then you enter the 50-50 state with the 90 heart pity. And if you lose the 50-50, you get a fate point much like the weapon banner. And this fate point will allow you to get a guaranteed of your selected character/weapon when you get the 5-star. Also, if you roll on character banner, you will only get character, and if you roll on weapon banner, you will only get weapons. Which, from my understanding, this only applies to 5-star, which means you can still get 4-star characters in weapon banner or 4-star weapon in character banner, which sucks. Currently, there's no information regarding the 4-star pool, so I'm assuming they're going to add the standard banner universal pool to this. And the next section, we have the upcoming characters for Chronicle Wish, so it's version 4.5. As you guys can see, we have all the Mondstadt unit with 3 standard characters and 3 limited characters. For the weapons, we have 11 weapons with 8 standard weapons and 3 limited weapons. In terms of the ratio, I don't really like how the standard and limited is distributed, especially with the weapons. And with the characters, if you lose 50-50, you have 40% to actually get a limited character and 60% to get a standard character, which kinda sucks. And the next section, when the Chronicle Wish event ends, will my accumulated wishes carry over to the next Chronicle Wish? How about the fate points for Chronicle Path? So from my understanding, the pity count still carries over if you never actually manage to get a 5-star out of this. But the count is independent from the limited character/weapon banner, so that means you need to decide whether you want to spend your fates on limited time banner and build your pity there so you can get a newly come out character, or start sinking in the Chronicle Wish on some old characters. But this is the most important part. Your fate point will not be carried over to the next Chronicle Wish. So what does this mean? Let me try to explain for those who might be confused. Let's say you lose 50-50 and then you get a fate point, correct? But you didn't manage to get your guaranteed character before the banner ends. The moment the banner ends, you lose your fate point, and that means you revert back to your 50-50 state. When you wish on a Chronicle Wish again on the next banner, there's a chance you lose your 50-50 again. So if you want to come out victory, I would say, for this banner, that means if you really want to get your character from the Chronicle Wish, make sure you have at least 180 pulls ready so that you don't lose 50-50 for nothing. Let me give you an example of the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario will be like this. You and Eula, for example, you wish for 90 times and you get a Diluc. But then you didn't manage to wish until you get your guaranteed Eula. And then the banner ends. And then the next Chronicle banner is out and you want to get Zhongli this time, but you end up losing 50-50 again and you end up getting Diluc again, or Chi-Chi if they are featured there. So for some that don't spend everything at once, instead of getting 2 limited 5-star character, they might end up getting 2 standard 5-star character. So there's some risk associated with wishing on this banner. So in the long term, when it comes to playing with luck and you have a very limited wish that you can sing on this Chronicle Wish, this banner is pretty bad, since you might end up encountering the worst case scenario that I just told you. But for those who have tons of resources to use for wishing, this banner is pretty amazing, since there's a good chance that you're losing the 50-50 to another limited character, and you will still get your guaranteed character regardless, since you have enough resources to get the 180 Heart Pity. And let's moving on to the next question. Will the item list change between different Chronicle Wish periods? Are there corresponding rules for state changes? So from this, it does say that the items on the Chronicle Wish will change, but there's no information how often it will change. Is it 1 patch? 1.5? 2 patches? We have no clue. Also, this is very important. Only 5-star characters that has appeared at least 3 times in the limited time banner, 1 and 2, will appear in Chronicle Wish. So that means other than currently featured character, old character like Zhao, Venti, Hu Tao, Ganyu, etc. that had more than 2 reruns is guaranteed to be here at some point. So no Neuvillette, Lini, Wanderer, Risley, and all of the recent Fontaine characters. But they might appear maybe about half a year, maybe even a year from now. In addition, they also have not appeared in recent Wish. So currently, Yaemiko, Zhao, and next Ito that will appear in 4.5 will not be appearing in the Chronicle Wish anytime soon, since they just had their feature banner. And lastly, if they appear in Chronicle Wish this time, they will still appear again in the future. And once again, we have no idea what will be the time span for state changes. So Eula will appear here again, for example, but also we have no idea if Eula will ever appear again as a featured banner, since I believe she already has 3 reruns, correct? So, I have tried to explain all the given details of the banner, and now let me give you my analysis conclusion. I'm going to present the conclusion in form of pros and cons, so people could formulate their thoughts and opinions easier. Oh, and also I'm going to include unknown factor at this point, since this unknown factor might change the overall worth of this banner. So regarding the pros, the very simple thing that I can say about it, this banner is mostly good for paying customer. And the important points are the following. First, for those who have a lot of resources or money to spend on Genshin, this banner is godsend, since now they can try getting all of their missing characters a bit faster or trying to build some constellation easier, especially the players that did not play since day 1. They might have missed a lot of Liyue and Mondstadt characters. And also, since previously they might only be able to get 4 characters in one patch, now they might be able to get 10 characters in that patch. And this is assuming that there will be time when the Chronicle Wish is filled with all limited time character, which is unlikely seeing Genshin devs love seeing us getting standard characters so much. And the second point, this is more universal, that benefits not just the paying customer, also F2P if they can plan it well. So the second point is, this is better than the current weapon banner. If an old limited time weapon is featured in the current weapon banner, it is better to try getting them in the Chronicle Wish, since you only need to lose 50-50 once in order to get your weapon of choice, while the current weapon banner might make you lose 50-50 twice in order to get that weapon. So if you're not in the current needs to get a new limited time weapon, you can just wait until that weapon appears in the Chronicle Wish, so you don't have to lose 50-50 twice. Maybe save a little bit of money. But also bear in mind, for F2P and light spender, if you really want to get your Primo's worth, make sure you have at least 180 wish ready before you pull for the weapon banner on the Chronicle Wish. And the third pros will be, for those who likes to play with Fate or content creator who likes to get some content to test their luck, this is a great banner for you, since you can test how good/bad your luck is if you can lose your 50-50 on character/weapon that you don't mind getting, and maybe prove that you're the luckiest person in the world. And the next pros is not a direct pros at the moment. This is a possibility in the future. If there will be time when all the featured characters/weapons are from the limited banner, this Chronicle Wish value just rose, since even if you lose 50-50, the worst that could happen is at least you might end up building a constellation for a limited time character. And the better outcome, you get a new limited time character even though you don't want them. If this happens, it is somewhat F2P friendly, since this option is better because there's a chance you will get the standard character/weapon from losing 50-50 in the normal limited banner and from the permanent banner, and you can try to collect as many limited time characters and weapon from the Chronicle Wish instead. Then again, this is assuming that Genshin developers are generous enough to put all the limited weapon and characters for the Chronicle Wish. And the last pros that I can think of is they are generous enough to have the pity to carry over. So if you're just building up pity for the Chronicle Wish, since none of the character or weapons you want is currently in the limited time banner, and you don't mind getting a random limited 5-star character or weapon, if you get an early 5-star and you don't really care about whatever 4-star that you're getting, the pity still carries over and you don't need to sing in as many primos next time. And let's talk about the cons. Sadly, the cons are mostly for F2P or limited resources players, and the cons are the following. First, once again, this is extremely not F2P friendly unless they have safe wishes just for that one character and don't give a damn about others. If you are a collector that really just wants to get one copy of each character and you are an F2P that doesn't save, I would suggest save your primos and wish on the normal limited banner instead, either on a new character or on the rerun. And the second con is it uses the premium intertwined fates. That means you're going to split your wishes on 2 different banners that doesn't share pity. You need to make a decision whether you want to build your pity towards normal limited time banner that will keep releasing new characters and also might do some rerun for the character that you really want in the distant future, or build up your pity on the Chronicle Wish with a return that you might wait less in order to get the rerun for the character that you really want, providing they're an old character, that is. But of course, with the drawback that you might end up missing out on a new character since the pity is not shared. And the third point is very obvious. If you're losing 50-50 and don't have enough resources to keep wishing until you get the guaranteed character that you really want from that banner, that means your guaranteed chance is gone for good when the next banner is up. So better spend everything here at once. And the next cons will be the 4-star pools information is not disclosed yet. Since if there's no rate up, you might end up getting any 4 stars and might missing out in the 4-star rate up in the future normal limited banner, since you decide to pulls in the Chronicle Wish. So if you care about 4-star characters and you want to get them as you are building pity, basically this is not a good place for it, as you keep getting some random characters/weapons. assuming that there's no specific rate up for Chronicle Wish. So it is usually better to build up pity while trying to get 4-star characters that you don't have C6 on through the limited time banners, since they have a rate up. And the last big cons that will impact those who like to spend a little bit everywhere, there's a chance that you lose 50-50 to standard character. The pool is bigger this time, instead in normal limited banner, with you either getting your featured character or any standard banner character. In Chronicle Wish, if you don't get the characters that you're targeting, that means you might end up getting the other 5-star characters. So if you follow a 4.5 patch banner, there is 60% chance of you getting a standard character and 40% chance of getting a limited character. And for F2P that doesn't have much primos, if they lose 50-50 and not getting their guaranteed when the banner ends, which means once again they have lost their guaranteed pool. The next time they roll in the new banner, there's a chance that they might lose 50-50 again to another standard character, just like the example I gave earlier. Refer back to that if you want to hear it again. So essentially, in my opinion, in this case, as F2P, you're better off wishing in the normal limited banner. When it comes to losing the 50-50, the weapon banner is even worse since there's only 3 limited weapons and 8 standard weapons. So if you lose the 50-50, you only have like 20% chance of getting the limited weapon and 80% chance of getting the standard weapon. Honestly, I don't know if this is better than the limited weapon banner if you don't have enough primos. Let me know what you guys think about the weapon, especially in the comment section. And lastly, let me talk about the unknown factors. First, we have no idea how long the banner is going to last. The visibility of this banner might change for F2P depending how long this banner will last. If it lasts for 1.5 to 2 patches, I think this is a decent banner to sing your primos to if you're not interested in any of the featured 5-star characters in the limited banner. The second factors will be, we don't know if there's always will be standard character in the Chronicle Wish. If there will be time when they're not there, the value of Chronicle Wish goes up quite a bit. Since if you lose 50-50, you're going to see all these standard character in the limited time banner anyway. It is so much better if they could be avoided in Chronicle Wishes. And the third factors will be, we don't know much about the 4-star pool. So if we can get anything out of Chronicle Wish, those who are looking for specific 4-stars, better wish in the normal limited banner instead. The last factor would be whether these characters in Chronicle Wishes will still be available in the normal featured limited banner. Since these characters are so old, maybe the interest in these characters are not that high. I can see that the developers might end up focusing on more popular and more recent characters to be put in the featured limited time banner instead. Right now, the developers only use the word may. May is a very weak word. Seems like they're not even sure whether this character will ever appear in the featured banner ever again. Phew, that was a lot to talk about. I might have missed a few important points when it comes to its pros, cons, and unknown factors. So if you have more insight about it, do let everyone know in the comment section, so that every Genshin player out there can make their own decision after weighing the pros, cons, and the unknown factors. Once again, I'm not here to shit on anyone's games or defending anyone's games. I'm here to provide some analysis and maybe a different perspective as much as I can. And I want to inform others about it. And hopefully it will be able to help some people in making decisions that they will not regret later. Anyway, thanks for watching. Once again, I make multiple discussion videos every week. So subscribe to my channel so you get to see some more of my content again. And make sure you leave your thoughts about this wish system in the comment section. Until the next video, stay sharp gamers.